Hello everyone, it's another PAC conference day today with great speakers and sessions which will prompt us to be thoughtful, reflective and provoke us all to imagine the future. In other sessions over the conference we have covered performance and participation taking place in non-traditional theatre settings such as libraries in last week's session. That approach is at the heart of what we do here at Applause, continually asking ourselves where can we facilitate artist and audience engagement. Right now, our background in developing work outside of the village hall is ever more important. We have an extensive outdoor touring and commissioning programme, as well as, along with other rural touring organisations, the in-crowd pub touring project. These projects offer a diversification to the places and spaces that arts engagement can happen. As an example of reaching beyond the village hall, in-crowd has moulded a typical community location into a space that can seamlessly invite culture into everyday lives, up close and personal. As one of the topics for today's discussion, outdoors in general has taken on a different meaning over the past 6 months, with so many businesses gearing up to operate outdoors, with the outdoors as an ideal location to enjoy culture, and as everyday people, how the outdoors has offered respite and recovery for the heart and soul. At Applause, our usual outdoor summer season sees us working with tons of communities, taking specially commissioned performances to over 70 community fetes and festivals. It's a bumper touring opportunity which sees a set of commissioned artists each year producing work which they are then able to talk to the Applause network and beyond. These are small-scale pieces that carefully consider their audience and how they best integrate into an event that's not a dedicated arts festival. We are told that this is an exciting and unique opportunity, and it's great we have Danielle here with us today, as she has first-hand experience of our touring network and practicing in the context of local outdoor community events. Sometimes we work in partnership with other organisations to commission work. For one of this year's collaborative shows, we worked with Home Live Art to commission Rhiannon Armstrong, whose practice transcends a typical and traditional audience performer narrative. A new piece which will now tour with us next year due to COVID, Can I Help You?, offers participants a chance to think about who needs help and why, how difficult it can be to ask for help, and ask how much time do we give one another. In a wider practice, Rhiannon asks individuals and organisations to look carefully at how they work with others. As addressed earlier in the conference, now we are asking ourselves, how does the way we work have the potential to change? Home and work is blending and the traditional approach receding. When we consider our sustainable future, what do we mean by that? What do we want a sustainable future to look like? And without equality of access, can we even be sustainable anyway? This is something meaningful to me personally, and perhaps why I was drawn to rural touring, in that it sat outside of the establishment. After many years, I'm kind of fed up with justifying rural touring. Like the arts in general, there's always a big advocacy job to do, but in many ways this has been more so with rural touring. With Arts Council's Let's Create strategy, speaking so closely to the ethos of rural touring and community-based engagement, and as we become increasingly microscopic about what true access means, it's a time to galvanise the incredible power and energy that rural arts manifests. I never tire of listening to my colleagues, rural touring schemes and artists who have the same goal in mind and the interesting ways they adapt to new challenges. We here at Applause are interrogating every angle of how we work within a constantly shifting set of circumstances, second-guessing the future along with our artists and audiences. Part of reworking in-crowd programme has seen the development of a set of remote residencies, each one different and speaking directly with the host community. Working in rural touring itself is like some sort of magic dust that can get right in the nooks and crannies. It's not confined by the perimeters of one building. It creates a potential interface with culture and heritage in its widest interpretation. It's about people, their lives and their environments. Collecting people's stories and experiences is far from a new idea, but the stories are always changing, or they are existing in a changing world, and so they are always afresh. Last year, we worked with South Downs National Park and writer Sarah Clifford, developing a piece called Cherry Soup, based around people's reflections of the South Downs. Some people didn't know they lived in the South Downs and did not feel that it was for them. And so, like in many other aspects of society, people feel excluded. And we ask ourselves, how did that happen? Audiences and local hosts tell us at Applause that being able to have such amazing performances at their events is special. And it's always nice to hear that you've contributed in some way to someone having a special experience. But I'd also like to see a future where people feel that it's normal. It's normal for them to be able to experience arts and culture right at home, right in the centre of their communities. So possibly the most slippery of themes in normal circumstances, but in these exceptional circumstances, as we look into the future with so much uncertainty, can we tease out how and where there is opportunity for meaningful change? Luckily, we have some great speakers here today to help us ask those questions of ourselves.